Hey guys, it's been a couple weeks, but I just want to touch base. Um, Basically, if you didn't know, I recently released one of my earlier novels on Amazon. I'll put the link in below the video, but it's called Marlys, and I wrote this novel in 2008, and it's part of my selfhood series. So I have a series of 3 novels that I wrote that are semi-autobiographical. They're still fiction though. And I decided to release book 3 before the other 2, just simply because it was easier for me, and I explain in the introduction why, but they're sibling series. It's a sibling series, so it's like you don't need to read any in any particular order. But I'm just out here on the patio with my tea, and it's a nice day, but it's been raining all morning and all week. And I love the rain. I like the weather, but I'm kind of getting tired of the same thing over and over. That's usually what happens. I don't care if it's a beautiful sunny day for a month straight, I get tired of it. But anyway, so this weather kind of suits my mood. Kind of somber, it's a little melancholic. I'm a little burnt out, been really tired. But I just wanted to let you guys know that the book is available. And the very interesting thing, so before I release anything, I always go back and I read through it and proofread it, and it's a very 4-wing-5 novel. So now, like, this is a book I wrote in 2008, about my first year of college. So how I felt distant from everybody and separate. And I've mentioned in videos about this time in my life, some previous videos, so if you were interested in this time in my life, this book discusses it. Having said that, it is a very 4-wing-5 kind of novel. It's like it's almost like told from that investigator, distant point of view. There's like a very heavy 5-wing. And of course, when I wrote it, I didn't know anything about the Enneagram. It's just something that's so fun. It just happens so naturally. And it's kind of embarrassing in a way, because there's parts of it where my character is complaining and worrying about becoming average and being like everyone else, yet wanting to fit in, but not wanting to fit in. And I think it's just not wanting to fit in, that was the wrong word, understood. You know, the whole 4 shit. And in rereading it, now I think I have finally assessed my variance. Originally I thought I was a social self-pres, but I have now come to realize I'm social sexual, and self-pres is my blind spot. Because it's very obvious, at least in this type of book, I was not paying attention to self-pres things. And I've mentioned in other videos that with age I've become more self-pres oriented. Such as the last video we did was a new exercise routine. That's self-pres. I mean, they say when you're working on your blind spot, you're integrating to health. But if you don't work on your self-pres things, no one else is going to do it. So kind of forced to do it. But so I just giving you a little bit of an example about the book. Marlys is the title, and Marlys is not the title, the name of the speaker. The speaker is actually unnamed. And when I wrote this, I did not give the speaker a name, the de facto me character, because at this time in my life I did not feel I had any identity. I felt I had no place. I felt like I had no identity. I had been uprooted. My parents had moved to a different state, and I'm going to college in another state. And, you know, while this sounds kind of like I could see someone saying, oh, these are so bourgeois problems, and I can see that, but, you know, for me at the time, this was a very hard time in my life. I just felt like I was just floating in a sense. And so in the book, I end up matched with a roommate who was a music major, and she is very much a type 3. And of course, when I wrote it, I didn't know I didn't know anything about the Enneagram. But now, upon looking back, I was matched with a 3, who always sort of put me down in a way. Oh, you're not doing enough. Oh, you didn't work. I worked 4 jobs over the summer. What did you do? Oh, you only did that. Oh, okay. And then me being the fourth, sitting there thinking, oh, well, at least I didn't have to deal with that shit. I sit there and go, wow, I didn't work 4 jobs. I feel less, you know. So she always had to, the roommate in the book is always about how much she works, and she's so this, and she wants to be the first chair in her music department, and she bitches about how everybody sucks and no one's good enough, and she was just very annoying. So then the character has a boyfriend who's very much a self-pres 7. He's all about partying and getting out, and I mean, so this character that's based on me really has no one to turn to, and it is sort of, it involves the depression that I went through, but it is not told in that very momentary kind of really emotional way. It's a very detached, very 5-wing. I'm very much tapping into the 5-wing in this, and you can see that. So I just thought that was very interesting when I reread it. I was sort of laughing, and it's like, oh my God, this is so funny how innate these feelings are. And just to give a comment, there was a YouTube channel I follow. Her name is Jennifer Brave, and she recently did a video on Type 4. And it's funny because I sent in her an email, and I sent in some feedback, and she quoted a few things from me anonymously, of course. But one of the things that was so interesting was that all the Type 4s sort of like emailed her and just started dumping on her all their negative, shitty qualities. And I came to this realization how easily it is for me to just indulge and dump my shitty qualities onto people. Like, I'm all the bad things, but then I don't notice the good. It's like, that's like almost impossible. I'm like, really? There are good things about me? You know? And this is something very innate, and I've had to really work to kind of counteract that, but it was kind of interesting just to come to that realization, even though I kind of always knew it. It's just like, oh right, it's just being reinforced to me. But so that's about it with regards to the novel. I was working to release it. As I said, I don't have any of my latest work out there. Like, I haven't released anything that I've written past 2009 at this point, simply because I'm just still holding on to it. I am right now working on the 3rd section, the part 3 of my current novel, which is going to be a longer book, and so that's taking up my time. I have my journal here that when I write in my journal, it's not so much these are my feelings, it's just my observations and sketchings of what I plan to write about. And I printed up some stuff about lotus flowers, and so I'm gonna discuss that, and I gotta do that this weekend and later today. And I've just been tired lately and feeling kind of burnt out, but if I can think of anything else, I'm also just planning some other videos. Once I get some free time, I plan to discuss a lot more. But if you haven't already, I would, you know, if you want to check out the book, at least download a sample. You know, it's one of those things you have to sort of forgive your earlier self, your younger self. There's certainly, I always look at earlier works and think, oh, there's things I would do differently, but then again, it shows an evolution. And at the time I wrote that book, I was reading a lot of Thomas Wolfe, and so I really admired the way he was able to incorporate all everyday situations into like this like very kind of emotional, internal kind of way. And talk about, he was another Type 4, but so the book is just a good example of that. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. I didn't really make any notes. I'm trying to think, can I think of anything else? I think that's about it. I will be in touch, and I hope everyone has a pleasant afternoon. Hopefully it doesn't pour on me, but planning to sit out here and write in my journal, do some writing, do some reading, planning to order some more books on Amazon, plan out some future projects, and yeah, I guess that's about it for right now. So I will be in touch, and thank you for listening. Bye.